So 4 stories left. Let's get into reflection part 1. Let's begin. Am I bothering you? No. Okay, I was just checking. It's hard to tell since you always look so into it when you're reading. It makes me scared to interrupt. Well, it's within my expectations to be interrupted when I read here. It's mainly when I'm by myself that I don't like it. That makes sense. I guess if you're here in the first place, then you're more ready to socialize, even if it takes a little bit of prodding. It's not so bad to be social if I let others do the work, so it can be healthy to put myself in a social environment every now and then. It's mostly difficult when I don't know anyone or there are too many people or everyone is being too silly for me to keep up with. Yuri glances across the room at Sayori and Natsuki. Sayori has her head cocked back and her mouth open trying to catch pieces of cookie that Natsuki is lobbing into the air. The pieces keep bouncing off of her face and hitting the floor. Maybe I should say something. No need, they just ran out of cookie, what a waste. They've become really good friends, haven't they? I'm happy. Sari seems particularly good at making that happen. But the two of them are both on the energetic side, so I suppose it works out well. Yeah, well, come to think of it, you and I haven't had many chances to talk one-on-one, have we? Though that may be partially my fault since I'm supposed to be the one engaging club members. Not at all. I probably formed a habit of drawing minimal attention to myself. The responsibility is equal on me, at least to display some openness to engage. Well, what about during the times like lunch? Do you meet up with friends? I just read. She doesn't have any friends. Oh, but I like it that way. Feels nice to be carried off again after a morning of classes. You always read fantasy? No, not always. She reads horrors and stuff like that. I think she got into it very late. So I don't know if she would tell her here, but yeah. I suppose it's all I've read recently, but only because I'm in the middle of the series. There's still 2 more books after this one. I guess these long books suit you well since you spend so much time reading. Yeah, well, fantasy may be my favorite, but after that I'm more or less indiscriminate to genres. I'll read anything with depth and maturity. Oh yeah? Even like romance? Well, there are a lot of books that have elements of romance in them. I mean, she reads like high fantasy books. There's no way there's like not romance. I wouldn't even be amazed if there were like really descriptive sex scenes in there. Because like I've read some stuff and it's fucking like they're right. Like your imagination will start going with the way they fucking write. Like it's extremely in depth. Even fucking medieval fantasy fucking writes in absolute depth about how the fuck. Except for the fact that one scene where we were fucking in the king's garden or whatever, the duke's garden, and it was so confusing because I couldn't tell if the main character came or not because they like literally wrote it down in like one sentence and I expected it to be very grandeur, but I just completely ignored it. I couldn't even tell if the main character came or not, but whatever. Oh, come on, Yuri, you know what I mean. Monica lowers her voice. It's a guilty pleasure of mine, so I won't tell anyone if you do too. Maybe more when I was in middle school. I mean, I was really lonely and people were mean to me a lot, so I just kind of felt like, don't make me think about the past. Sorry, I just got super curious. You know, we should totally pick out a romance novel to read. That would be so much fun. Absolutely not. Really, even if it's just between us? Try asking someone who has no shame like Natsuki. What the fuck? Ouch. Sorry, I swear I didn't mean that. Well, I guess it was my fault for pressing you. I'm like that for things in my past too. You know, things I feel too embarrassed to re-experience. There's nothing wrong with growing out of things. It happens to everyone. For instance, Natsuki's interest in manga reminds me quite a bit of how intense I used to be about my own interests. It makes me think that she'll likely grow out of it too. Hey, were you talking about me? No, we were just... we were talking about how our interests have changed over the years. When did you get into manga, Natsuki? Like a couple of years ago, I guess? I was really sort of into it before that, but I wasn't really going hard until then. Oh yeah? What was it that inspired you to get more into it? I don't know. I guess let me think. It was after I discovered a series that I really liked. Well, I was just like really fed up with a lot of things and I got super into this one series that I really related to. I guess it had an I had an edgy phase where I just hated everyone around me and wanted to be myself. You're kind of like Yuri. Monica. Sorry, that's completely wrong. So it's still cool that you both really found your thing. They're almost like opposites, but sounds like they help you a lot through hard times. You know it. Wow, what the heck? Is that book even bigger than the last one you were reading? Man, they really need to... Man, every time I write a book, my mind just fucking edits it out and it's just fucking... It's weird. It's technically slightly longer, but not by very much. How high do you think it would go if we stacked up the whole series? Natsuki estimates by holding her hand high above her head, sizing up an imaginary stack. I should get one of those mangas that's like 50 volumes long, so I can say that I've read more than you. Not that I have money for that. Please, that would hardly count when your books only have few words per pages. That is true, that is true. I know, I was just joking. I could never actually read books like yours, too boring for me. Yuri shoots a glare at Natsuki. It's not boring. Chill, I said for me, not for you. I can have my own opinion. I just think it's too convoluted. Sorry, are those from the floor? Is she eating fucking cookie from the floor? What the fuck is wrong with this chick? Gross. Wash your hands before touching any of my books. But my hands aren't dirty. Just do it. The oils are there even if I can't see them. Fine. Natsuki, Sayuri trots out of the room. Natsuki follows. Yuri looked like a little upset. What kind of nerve does she have to call my hobby boring? Well, she did correct herself. Hardly. She was so condescending. Is it? No, she was not really condescending. I mean, stuff could be boring for some people. I mean, some people may not like golf. Like while other people would really like golf. Like some people I know, they're like, golf is a lazy sport. Like, who the fuck would play golf? And I'm like, golf sounds pretty fucking cool. And it's just a whole fucking mess. You know, everyone has their own fucking opinions, but I guess it's the way you put it, and considering how fucking sensitive these bitches are, it's understandable that even the slightest word to them and they fucking lose it. I mean, even when I was playing as Blood, it was fucking ridiculous. Like, have you seen the way Blood fucking phrases his sentences? Like, it even doesn't even appear as like a real person, the way he fucking phrases his sentences. Like, you know, you're very talented, but you also have this condescending nature about you, and this and that, and this and that. It's fucking weird, dude. It's fucking weird. Again, I don't know if that's how most people are, but it's the type of group I have grown up with, so I don't know. Harley, she was so condescending. I don't mind if she thinks it's not for her. I already understand that it's not for her, everyone. But she knows well how much these mean to me. So how about just leaving me alone instead of needlessly telling me the things you hate about it? I'm sorry, Yuri. You may be right. That won't be the last time people have strong feelings about what they like and don't like. Especially in the literature club. So you should figure out how to meditate discussion to keep them positive and constructive. For the record, I've always been impressed by the level of creativity in your books. Also, your ability to get through them so quickly. Thank you. Okay, well, this is something that I'll have to think about and revisit. I'm sure I can help Natsuki find some common ground with you. Common ground isn't necessary. I just wish to be respected. Then either way, I'll do my best. I'm skeptical when it comes to Natsuki. I trust you, Monica, but I'm skeptical. Okay, everyone. We have a special club meeting today. As you know, the literature club is a place where you get to share things that you're really passionate about. But that also means that we should be mindful of how we respond to each other's feelings. I think we have a chance to turn our differences into positive energy for each other. Aren't you being a little dramatic about this? This is important to me. Well, sorry, I just feel like I'm being accused of something. No, I'm not accusing anyone of anything. I'm sorry if I came off that. See, even that, they got fucking like, oh man, how the hell are you targeting me? What the fuck is that all about? That's fucking, oh mother of God, these bitches are fucking sensitive as fuck. Like, holy shit. Like, I was thinking Reddit, like, if they fucking Googled something, I feel like they will get offended by something. Fucking hell. Like, how fucking sensitive can you fucking be? See, these are the people because of which jokes don't fucking exist anymore. Like, you joke about anything and you get fucking you just get fucking berated by people like these fours are the fucking reason. Like, Sayuri maybe not, but other than that, everyone up here is just extra level sensitive. It's ridiculous, especially Yuri and Natsuki. These two are like it's another level of fucking sensitive. It's ridiculous. Our conversation yesterday made me reflect on the words of power of language, and I thought it would be a good topic for the literature club, don't you think? I mean, shouldn't have gone with power of words instead of power of language, but okay. I'm sure we are going to have differences in opinions a lot, so I need to make sure we are prepared to keep a positive atmosphere in the club. If you say so, sure. The cool thing about language is that it gives off a lot of different ways to express the same idea or emotion. We have a lot of control over how we want the other person to feel when receiving a thought. This goes for poetry, narratives, casual conversation, basically anything. For example, Sari, what's your favorite food? I have them organized by category. Should I start with snacks or do you mean full meals? Should I include breakfast? Oh geez. How about your favorite fruit? That's easy. Cherries. Really? I always thought cherries tasted nasty. What? Cherries are delicious. Whoa, that's a pretty strong reaction. Well, I just don't understand how could anyone think cherries are nasty. How does it make you feel? I don't know, sad? Defensive maybe? Yeah, I got defensive. I see the reason you had such a strong reaction wasn't because you don't like cherries. It wasn't just because I don't like cherries. It's because you felt that your opinion was under attack. But that's weird, right? Something like taste is completely subjective. When I say something like, I think cherries taste nasty, I'm using objective language. Instead of saying... wait, no, that's not objective language. You said, I think cherries are nasty. That sounds pretty subjective to me. Until you're saying like, until that's an order or something, like that's fucking weird. I'm challenging Sayori's reality that cherries are delicious with my own, which is that cherries are nasty. Wait, hold on. How is that objective when you said it was your own opinion? Yeah, that's what I was saying. Thank you, Natsuki. Thank you for some representation out here. It has to do with the way our brains interpret the words. You're talking about the reality of the cherries, not your feelings about them. Like Sayori. Let's rewind for a second. Pretend I didn't tell you that I think cherries are nasty. Good. So what if I instead of that said, like, I have tried cherries and they're not for me. It's not the kind of flavor I enjoy. Well, that's fine as long as you don't call them nasty. Nasty is a nasty word. Okay, so cherries was kind of a weird example, but I think it gets the point across. This time around, instead of talking about cherries, I just talked about my feelings, and Sarah didn't get defensive. So instead of clashing with each other, it's like we received an invitation to talk about differences. You don't need to take notes. I'm not gonna quiz you or something. I know that. I was just... Oh, she was taking notes? Sorry, I didn't mean to call you out. You can do whatever you like. But does anyone have any thoughts so far? Yeah, I just feel like I shouldn't have put all my language through a filter just to protect someone's feeling. Shouldn't have to put all my language through a filter just to protect someone's feelings. I mean, true that. Well, you don't have to. The choice is yours on how you want to come across to other people. I'm only suggesting it's a tool to help turn your differences into positive experience rather than an argument. Right, Sayori? Whatever you say, cherry hater. Oh, come on. Sayori actually liked cherries. I was just saying that to help demonstrate. What the heck? I've been duped. So I'm sorry, Sayori. I'll make up to you later. How about a cherry sundae? You're welcome to dupe me anytime, my beloved president. Buying your people's loyalty, how deplorable. Like you would turn down a free sundae, Yuri. You were definitely a fan of those cupcakes I bought in the other week. I was reading and not keeping track of them. That's enough. We are getting off topic. Now that you have the gist of it, how about you try it with something more relevant to the club, like manga, right? Let's try to have a positive, productive discussion about the differences in opinion. Yuri, do you want to start? Well, I'd rather not know. How come? Well, because I don't see how anything productive can come from that. It's just going to start a fight. No, it'll be fine. That's why I'm here to moderate. Let's just have a calm, rational discussion. Yeah, give me a little more credit. I'm not a child. You don't have to coddle my feelings. I always think it's more respectable to just speak your mind. Respectable. Yuri's expression changes at that word. As Monica recalls, being respected was the crux of the matter for Yuri. Well, the point of the exercise is exactly like, it's fine. I have nothing against anyone's personally. You're entitled to enjoy whatever it is you like. I just prefer more depth and nuance in my reading material. I look for stories that are imaginatively sophisticated beyond the surface level. Oh, well, that's just a misunderstanding then. I thought you were gonna say that manga's for children or something, like I don't hear enough of that. There's plenty of deep manga. I'm not clueless about manga. I've read my own fair share when I was younger. But are you serious? Because you never told me, because I'm past that point in my life. I really prefer not to revisit it. I prefer more mature things now. I mean, there's plenty of mature mangas. Have you read Dead Tube? Holy shit, that manga is fucking bloody. Excuse me? Okay, hold on. Can I jump in here? Let's try to keep things subjective. Because if you imply that manga is immature, then aren't you implying that someone is immature for being into it? What the hell is this conversation? Well, maybe it's immature to judge people for having different tastes than you. Natsuki. Nobody's immature. I've read Natsuki's manga and Yuri's fantasies. I love them both in their own way. Okay, it's great that you like it, but I still find it boring. Boring isn't subjective. Boring sounds subjective to me. Okay, it bores me. That's subjective, but I mean the thing about this is ridiculous. Do you see why I don't want to participate in this? And it was just going to make people upset. I'm not upset. Like I said, I don't care what other people think. But I always got the impression that you secretly looked down upon me. So I'm glad my suspicions were confirmed. That's not true at all. I'm making assumptions. You can't blame me for getting defensive when nobody ever has the least bit of respect for the things that I'm into. The only thing I look down upon is when people make fun of me for just being myself and trying to mind my own business. This is such a rando fucking cringe conversation. Like, holy shit. Like holy shit. If it was dudes, like, fucking hell, this would be, like, it would be cringe times 10. It's cringe times 2 right now, so it's fine for now. But holy shit, I can't handle much more of this. Holy shit, this is ridiculous. What, have you looked in a mirror? Tell me again about respect of calling all my interests immature. You can't, please. Oh, she just started crying. What the hell, please? You don't mean the things you're saying right now. Let's just be friends. Fucking, I didn't mean for this to happen. Well, it did. So don't invite yourself to try and solve other people's problems next time, okay? Yuri's piercing words in the club room into jokes and she gathers her things. She leaves. That was so stupid. Holy crap, I've never heard a sound like that before. She must be so pissed. But you weren't very nice either, so I was just saying things. How did this happen? It's my fault. Yuri wasn't wrong. I shouldn't have tried to moderate a conflict that I know how bad I'm dealing with conflicts. It was a really stupid thing for me to do. It's nobody's fault. It wasn't stupid. Everyone in the club is a nice person. Nobody would have expected this. But I guess we are sensitive about things we really love. You guys are. Fucking hell. How sensitive are you? I mean, like, I should be, every single day of my life, I should be making a Twitter or a Reddit post about a link in the description, by the way, to my Twitter. I should be making a Twitter post about how it is absolutely deplorable to make those yaoi fucking gay fucking what doujinshis about Light and L from fucking Death Note. Like, for me personally, it just hurts. It just fucking hurts to even think that there are people out there making stuff like that. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's understandable that you want to do it, but holy shit, like, if I was that sensitive, I would be making a post every single day. Every other video I would be talking about this shit. But holy fucking shit, get a fucking room. Fucking hell, these bitches are sensitive. But I guess we're sensitive about things we really love. Honestly, she kind of brought it upon herself. Like I said, I don't care if you're not into manga, but if you actually look down on other people for it, it's kind of the point I was trying to make in the first place. Not like about sugarcoating things, about just reorganizing and understanding our differences. Okay, but here's the thing about that. Yuri actually looks down on me. It has nothing to do with her word choice or anything like that. So I see what you're trying to do, but I really think the problem here is her, not just like the way we talk to each other, right? I mean, Yuri isn't like that. She's a lot sweeter than you're giving her credit for. I'm sure she'll be reflecting on this. I actually think everyone should. It'll be fine. I'll figure something out. Wow, I'm just saying, like, saying that instinctively. I'm just setting myself up to cause more problem. This wasn't your fault, Monica. You don't have to beat yourself up over it. If you ask me, it's good that the truth finally came out, because I can just move on now. But it's fine, I promise. Let's just get our minds off of this, okay? In fact, it's a good opportunity to read some manga without having to worry about feeding Yuri's superiority complex. Don't be mean. I'll talk or read manga, whatever you want, but don't be mean to my friends, okay? Sorry. I'm just bitter. Everything will be okay. I mean, I don't have answers, but I at least know that we're all good people and don't want to hurt each other. This will be a learning experience. I mean, Yuri does look down on Natsuki. Even in the main story, which is forward this into the future, even then she talks like down to Natsuki to some extent. But Yuri really is like, she reads manga, dude. Like, I read high fantasy. Or look at my fucking poems, and I will have to say her poems are fucking bomb. But whatever. This will be a learning experience. Monica says that, but her uneasiness is given away by how much she has to force the reassuring tone in her voice. That was bound to happen eventually. Natsuki and Yuri have always engaged with each other the least out of anyone. This is the reason. As Saori and Natsuki proceed to distract themselves with manga, Monica sighs to herself, unable to shake her worried thoughts. But the club really have to just come to terms with the fact that some members will be incompatible with each other. I mean, that's how clubs work, don't they? I mean, you can't have like every single person in a club be friends and like completely compatible with each other. Monica desperately doesn't want to admit that. She knows Saori doesn't either. But for once, a solution doesn't seem to be in sight. Okay, that's the next one. And we have unlocked Reflection Part 2. I wonder how that will go. For now, let's look at the mail. Ethics, Paula Minor. I think, who the fuck is Paula? I guess she is the main CEO or some shit like that. Mess Local, entitled Mail Group Do Not Use. Re-ethics. Simply put, it's not our job to arbitrarily decide upon some codes of ethics just because we are the first ones to do this to our knowledge. That's the government's job to figure out. Long after we have made enough headway for it to no longer apply to us. It's fundamentally flawed to apply ethical reasoning to this because humanity's code of ethics is based upon nothing more than a knowledge and understanding of life forms similar to ourselves. We don't have ethics for killing bacteria or plants, only for creatures that we can conceivably project our emotions onto. The humans in our VM operate completely different from us on a fundamental level, therefore should not be taken any more seriously than a machine that's programmed to print "I feel sad." We are engineers, not philosophers. Oh, so some of the staff must be like, these all these creations that you're making. The position of the, what is it called? The position of the president, where they have instilled emotions into the characters. So there are some of the people must be like, they feel really human. Have we created artificial life forms or some shit like that? But they're not like, nah, bro. I mean, they're like programmed to do that. They're not actually they don't actually have free will. The way I look at it in the point of view, I'm gonna keep it short. It's like will and free will. When I say free will, it's like any other human that's born, and when I say will, it's like those, the AIs on the fucking internet. You can talk to them and shit like that. So it's essentially those AIs, right? And so they're a collection of multiple people's thought processes, so they may feel real. I think there's a Turing test for that as well, just to see how real a machine feels. But they're actually not real unless they don't have a code in their mind for what type of ice cream do they like. Do they like vanilla? Or do they like chocolate? If there's no code to decide that, and despite that fact, they still decide which one they like on their personal own, then I would say they have free will. But I am not 100% sure in Monica's case. If we talk about the real life, the real world we live in, to me, Monica is nothing more than a code, right? But in this game, Monica might be not just a code or like a machine that's designed to print "I feel sad." She might actually be living, but I'm 100% on that.